So we know that we are going to intercept the Seward Serum shipment being sent via a train involving the operation of HGD shipping at some point. I mean, I'm not going to close off this train entirely, but what I will say is that by nature, what this means is that there's at least one freight carriage on there, you know, like a HGD shipping container is on there at some point. May not be the focus of the investigation, but maybe the whole thing is a freight train. Maybe it's a public train with a freight compartment on it. But then we do investigation or preparation. And I'm going to go in reverse character keeper order this time. I apologize to those in the middle, but in my experience, every time you try and do clever things with player rotation, you end up tripping yourself up more than you end up doing anything. So I will always start at the bookends. So, Alan, investigation or preparation?
I think investigation.
Investigation.
I want to know. The dark web is alive with rumors about the Seward Serum, but I think it would be quite helpful to know a bit more about it. So I'd like to deploy law as its research surrogate, and just do some digging into what people think the Seward Serum is and what effect it might have. We've had hints of that, but I'm not sure we've got that nailed down.
Yeah. So
expertise, and
yes.
I'm going to include the stress dice for this investigation. So I think what we see is just Constantine. You know, apart from a fixation with train timetables, it is also just trying to pin down anything at all that he can pick up by emailing various people and just searching dark corners of the web in search of anything relating to the Seward Serum.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 6, and it's not on the stress dice.
Nice. So on a 6, you get the bare minimum, which is that, you know, the Seward Serum, you don't get much in the way of direct hits on that at first. You're welcome to do that as you 2 questions, but what you mainly get is the law of vampiric blood, and how it can empower those. It is used by vampires to dominate their victims, to enthrall them, and you know, many people over the centuries have tried to weaponize it, usually with disastrous effects, you know, but it is said to give you some portion of their power, and that is the bare minimum, I would say, that you need.
Fine.
Now, you get to ask me 2 questions, or I think we typically say you can define 2 things, right?
Yeah. Well, I will ask you 1 question. And that question is, where weaponize it has been about giving these thralls or these people who are treated with vampiric blood some power. Is there anything out there that suggests what power might we expect someone who's been treated with this to have?
You get a secure message from Mr. Chess across the darknet. Mr. Chess will tell you that he's run up against some of these fuckers in the past. Pale, strong, fast, see in the dark, don't like light.
Okay, that's very helpful. Don't like light. Well, look, can I reserve my second question till we've been round the houses?
Yes.
And in the meantime, if it's okay with you, I'm going to put something into the supernatural tab.
That's exactly what I was going to suggest, because I feel investigating the Seward Serum is the same as investigating the users of the Seward Serum in that sense. So you've got 1 to hold on to in terms of questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we move on to Mia.
So we're going after a shipment of this stuff, correct?
All
right. I want to find out how the stuff is being shipped.
Okay. And how are you going to find that out?
I mean, hacking, of course. Look for records of shipments to or from the clinic that look like they might have stuff on board.
Okay. Do you want to, what would that be? That would be research, I think.
Yeah, and then which tab is the dice room on?
That is on
Intro
Lines and
tabs?
Veils, Conspiracy and Lines and Veils. First tab on the left.
Okay. I thought so. I just, for whatever reason, it had not actually switched over to that. So, all right. So, regular, expertise, and I'll roll the stress die. 5 on expertise.
Nice. So you get the bare minimum, and you also get a additional question or detail that you can declare.
Okay.
And what you're asking about was, well, the specific train that it's traveling over.
Right.
What were you asking specifically about, I suppose? How they're transporting the serum?
Yeah. And if that extra point allows me to declare a detail and we're all okay with it, I would like to declare that it's being transported in people.
Cool, because that's what I was, after you suggested it, I was like, shit, I need to put that in there. So let's say that the minimum that you get is this HGD shipping container on board,
Yeah.
as part of it. I'm going to ask you, because you've spent your thing on here, do you want this to be a passenger, like a train with mixed carriages on and a freight component, or would you like this to be a freight train?
Well, real quick, just because looking back in chat, I just want to double check this. Is everyone okay with this, with like the serum being transported in people, using them as mules?
There's nothing currently in Lines and Veils to say we're not, but that doesn't mean we
I'm looking, yeah.
I don't know if that card, it depends, I guess. Maybe I might X-card it when something comes up that's really like, ooh, this is too gross.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering what exactly that means.
Yes, yeah, that's a good question.
So I have 2 thoughts on this. One, I mean, in both cases, it's being transported. The serum has been added into their bloodstream. One option is they go through a procedure like dialysis to remove the serum from their bodies. The other option is the vampires just kill them and drain the blood.
It's not for vampires, it's for people.
But it's through this clinic, correct?
Yes, but I mean, they could kill them after they've done the dialysis, I suppose. But the vampire drinking the Seward Serum would just be like, I taste my own blood again.
What occurs to me is this depends what our objective is. At the minute, it's intercept the serum shipment.
Mm-hmm.
What do we expect to do is this about obtaining a sample? Is this about stopping it being delivered? Because if it's in people, inverted commas, innocent bystanders, there are some extreme prejudice approaches to that, which we might be uncomfortable with.
Yeah, which I don't think I would throw on this table. You know what I mean? I think I would throw it on perhaps a more horror table than the action pulpy one.
So if I could be clear, what is our objective? Because intercepting it, just get on the train. What's our objective?
Intercepting means that the clinic doesn't get the serum, right?
Okay.
So if we can get these people and take them somewhere, if they would go with us, of course, but we can maybe swing that, sure. And then that means it doesn't have to be a freight train. We just need to find the people, and they would be spread out, because if I was doing this, I would not sit all of them in the same car, and we would need to find them, convince them to come with us if they want to live. And yeah, I kind of like that as an approach I could get behind. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't
but
we
I thought
say?
I thought we wanted Yelena to kill some. Oh wait, there are always the mooks.
There's always the main
There's always complications.
Okay.
Yes.
Just so I'm clear, if it's in their blood, won't they get the benefit of it?
But it's been separated into two different compounds, so
Oh, I see.
only half of them. You need at least two people to retrieve it,
Okay.
because otherwise it would be active and it would be gone, processed by the body.
That's what I'm unclear about.
Yeah,
so it's somehow
why does it have to be in the bloodstream? Why don't they do the usual thing when you want to mules? Yeah, it's just swallow.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest, is that they are just typical sort of drug mules swallowed.
Except
are we
you
LARPing
lose
Lucy
a
now?
loss of your shipments that way, right? You're writing off 40%. If you have a bodily insertion and just trust to Mother Nature to keep everything intact. This way is more high tech, but more sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happened in Lucy, if you remember that movie with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess. She uses 100% of her brain as opposed to just 1/3 or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Becomes a god by the end of it, something like that.
So if we want, either way, I mean, if we have two people, one with one half of the compound in their bloodstream and the other with the other half in their bloodstream, I mean, we know that the stuff is, tolerated and has to get into the bloodstream and has to get into the human body. Or, if we have a mule where they're just like, they have a big old pouch like in their abdomen or something like that, that's going to require surgery to remove it. I mean, I'm fine with either choice.
Let's go with the bloodstream one because it's thematic, I think, maybe.
Okay.
How would you know who has it in their bloodstream?
Oh, well, that would be because how you've discovered this is that HED shipping hasn't just got this container on here and their employees, but if you trace the money, you can see that they've also bought tickets, long berth tickets for these pool of people.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know that there are several passengers on board, and you know which seats they are in, let's say. And does that feel like enough for your 2 points of things there, Puckett, to have A, that they're being transported via these mules, and B, that you know where they are, basically, like the seats on the train.
And that also answers the whole thing, because I was going to say it's going to be a lot more fun if this is on a passenger train, where we have to avoid people like noticing too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes us to Dylan.
Yeah, since we're not, I think I need 2 disguises here. I was just thinking about this. I think what I want to do is I want to get on board of this train as part of the crew, right? Not the stewards or something.
So you want to do a prep move then, essentially.
I hate prep moves.
That is a prep move, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Because it doesn't gain you any more information unless you're trying to describe finding out something via your prep move.
Like, oh yes, that.
Yeah. Sorry, I
would like to insert myself into the train crew and figure out something about the security guys, because I don't think I can go at them.
Just to do the caveat as it tells you to say in the book, if you enter a conspiracy site even during investigation, then heat goes up by 1.
Oh no.
Well, good. I'm glad that you said that, because that's totally what I would say.
I just want to see.
This is a passenger train. It's a commercially operated one, right? It's not a conspiracy site. It's just being used by them.
Oh yeah, they're that blasé about it. They're just like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's not our problem. No, it's a conspiracy site. The heat goes up.
It's fine. It's fine because I am actually asking about these security dudes and watching them and doing stuff and maybe losing a bug or two.
Yeah.
You know how you do. What I want to do is I want to pose as a wagon master that these are the guys that look at wagons at stops and check if all the brakes are calibrated correctly. And Dylan has vague ideas about what a wagon master does. He has no idea what you actually do if you are one, but you're gonna be fine, right? Because what could go wrong there?
So roll disguise, I guess.
Yeah, I will do that, and I will roll disguise.
Yeah. It may be a commercial train, but to find out any information requires going to the conspiracy sections of the train.
Yeah, it's fine. I think I will use stress in this case because I have so little. Anyway, oh, there's a 6 and it's on the expertise die and not on the stress die.
Okay.
It's nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So you get the basic, you mark intel.
And I mark stress, right?
No, you just need to roll for stress, which we'll do at the end.
One stress, so okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me the basics.
Alan, sorry, that just reminded me that you needed to do that. So didn't you roll a 6 as well? On your...
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so
I thought I was going to wait until I had a bit, and then I'll ask you a question that'll scare the willies.
Yeah, we'll come back around to that one. Yeah, but mark the intel is all I'm saying. And yeah, I'll remind you of the rules that you wrote. Sorry. Anyways, Savine. So specifically, what's the question that you're asking the control here?
What's the basic information that I get before I start asking questions?
But about what? Because you have to ask me a question for me to give you basic information.
Oh yeah. Okay. The basic information is who are the guys who are guarding these people?
It is Watchtower Consultancy, run by one Mr. Watchtower, an American private security firm.
And I remember him from somewhere else, but Dylan will remember, but the player plumb forgot about him. Who was he?
He was the one they were the people who were sitting the person we rescued in our first operation in the German hospital / sanitarium.
Remember the guy interrogating Rajesh, the PhD student from Stanford?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That was,
who Dylan spoke to, and then Anton knocked out a bunch of his mates and then left him in the room locked behind, thanks to the attacking skills.
Yes, right. Oh, wow, okay. I'll need a better disguise. I need a beard or something.
It's Longshore, not Watchtower, but the point...
Longshore Consultancy.
Yeah, okay, Longshore. Now I remember.
I think I wrote it down off the top of my head without checking my notes.
Longshore, yeah, that rings a very tiny bell, but okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, extra question is, I think what I need to know here is how do they communicate?
I mean, they communicate with these really great in-ear pieces that give them, TAC-COM entirely. Almost like the operators, the ones that you guys have.
No, that's what I was thinking. I will, of course, tell this to Mia because we have a fantastic hacker at our side. And the second question would be, are they the people that they're watching over? Do they know that? Are they like bodyguarding them and these people know about that, or are they just watching that nobody interferes with them without these people actually knowing what's going on?
I think that what you observe as you see, let's say a person you've identified as Miss Masek. I'll put that in the chat. One of the the people who is on this long haul train journey across Europe alongside this this is the pattern that comes up, is that they get on the trains as passengers, the same trains that the HGD shipping container gets on at every point. So every single station that they cross over, and you get a Miss Masek who essentially doesn't appear to know that HGD, but they seem to know of her. They know her for sure,
Okay.
There is always somebody, one of their staff is sat like in the same thing, or they pass over, they seem to be walking through at constant times, but she just is a young woman, seems quite like has a whole life on her back from the looks of things. She's carrying a bag with her. Whatever they're offering her, it's a reason to travel across on this thing, and she doesn't ask questions.
That's good to know that these people might be pretty desperate. Okay.
And I'm going to quickly generate another couple of names so I can pull them out. I wish there was on Fantasy Name Generator, there was just like a completely random real name generator, so that you weren't always choosing a location to choose to generate from.
Yeah, I mean the fantasy, it's in the Lines and Veils, I think. The storybook, the story game book of names is great, but someone needs to write a little program that throws them up automatically, because there's that's a great set of modern day general names.
Yeah. And then we get on to Constantine.
And my question, for my 6, I would like to define a detail.
Okay.
That is going to lead me to roll for stress because I got a 6. And I think the detail is that Mr. Chess says, and just watch out, because these guys often travel with what looks like a coffin made out of ballistic material.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is enough to make me roll for stress. Oh wow, that goes up to 3. I'm back where I started before all that seek relief.
Yeah, I think at the end of Mr. Chess's message is all of that stuff, and then he just says, but you really want to watch out for what they're carrying, what the package they're looking after. Yeah.
I need to roll for stress as well, right?
Yes, you do need to roll for stress as you see the desperation of this woman.
Yes, hello, let me roll thingy. Oh yes, my stress goes up. That's fine. I'm good. I need a little stress to work.
Yeah, in fact, why don't we define the two people already, in fact. So we got Miss Masek and Mr. Weiser, the two people who they have the 2 different halves of the Seward Serum. We'll leave it to just a 2 to keep it simple, rather than having like 20 people on board the train of pool. Okay. And Yelena, I apologize.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, because I was running out of things to ask questions about. But now that we have, a spare vampire in the back, in the one freight train on this, I guess I've got something to ask questions about now. And I'm wondering, given my history, I may have, actually done some business with Watchtower before.
Longshore. My bad.
Sorry. I thought it was just the name of the head guy whose name was changed.
I think it's better if it's Watchtower Consulting, and that Walt is their representative. I think that's cool.
Cool. Just trying to drive my brain away from saying Watchtower when I want to say Longshore. But
and I wonder what their, I guess through remembering or maybe having a contact, I guess I want to really find out what their protocol is for that coffin. So if we threaten to cut them, do they give up on the mules? What's their primary?
Why don't we roll to see your investigation? Which is, how are you investigating it? Tradecraft?
It doesn't matter because I can't use it. But yeah, I mean, I guess
that's true.
Having read lots of these dry manuals in my time, some professional curiosity is probably what's responsible. So I'll roll my normal die and my stress die.
And I think that your initial call is, you've got a wonderful hacker on team, but you had Yusuf, the guy who did such a great job last time of helping you out with that link into GSV's comms. And you reach out to him, see if he can break into, Longshore's Watchtower's systems. You get nothing but a failed pingback. He has been blown.
Okay, my die room didn't do anything. I tried to roll twice and nothing happened.
Okay.
So I
see that you got a 3 and a 2.
Okay.
For the bare minimum, but the 3 is on your stress die, so it's the highest one.
Yeah.
Which means that it goes up, correct, Alan? 2, 3. Yeah. Which means
more
that you can
importantly,
get your
my
expertise back.
Expertise is available again.
Yeah. Also, the hacker contact has been blown. All you get is you look, and in scrambled in the code, you get a shit.
Well, that is edifying.
Uh-huh.
That certainly has sharpened my senses for self-preservation. I'm back in kill mode. Those vodkas are forgotten about.
Yeah. And maybe deep on the dark web somewhere, there is a very disturbing GIF posted to warn anybody about who gets involved in certain corners of the internet.
There are some consequences of getting a blown contact. You'll find them on Heat and Intel, down the bottom of collateral damage.
So here's the question. When I get a 1 to 3 on investigate, you're marking
the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you burning that contact because of the heat?
Because I had a lot of heat to carry, and I've been waiting to find a good moment to drop that in. Yeah. But I mean, because I have it essentially brings me back up to full on alarmed with that heat. But I was already going to spend one anyways, like 1 for 1. We're essentially just
I'm just keeping the economy in mind.
Yeah.
So I guess what do I find out for poor Alawani's sacrifice?
You find out that it is hands off for the most part. They don't, like there's Longshore and his men tend not to. Nobody seems to go into the secure compartment of the shipping container. Like there is a locked area, and from when it enters a train, when it enters that shipping container to when it leaves the train, no one goes in there under the normal run of things. That's the standard protocol. Hands off. Do not go near the container.
Okay. And that's in a separate rail car, right? That's
in the HGG shipping container, which seems to travel alongside all of these mules every time they go, and where the HGD security guys is ostensibly what gives them, cover and passage upon the train, is that they are here to secure this extremely valuable product. Okay, so we are through all of those. Now, my suggestion is that we round off this briefing and then we take a 5-minute break and we go through the operation till the end. Does that work for everybody? Okay, so with that in mind, does anyone want to frame themselves doing something cool this episode and spending a point of intel to frame that objective, that complication?
Yes,
move on
please.
from me. Yes. I knew
Yeah.
Alan would be the only one who'd go for it because it's only ever me and Alan who ever does this in.
Well, no, I want to set up a complication around Dylan's advice to, you know.
Oh, okay.
Or,
nice.
or the you know, Dylan Angel, Yelena Devil on the shoulders. Do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it. Which would, I can't remember which of you said which. So I would like to, what do you want to do that would be cool? What do you want to be seen doing that would be cool? I want to have to, I want to have to harness the darkness to overcome some obstacle.
Okay.
Or in some circumstance. And I guess that is the point at which I know I have to do it, but I don't do it and suffer some kind of consequence before I do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's something in here will only really be negatable or overcomable by harness the darkness, and I think that's within the realm of what we have, is able to be framed pretty easily at the drop of a hat, right? Like there's a dozen different things I can think of off the top of my head, even if it's just a case of like evening the odds against something supernatural, for example. Okay. Mia, was that from you that you wanted to you wanted to frame something cool?
I know that was actually in response to you saying, let's finish framing the objective, do the briefing, and then we'll take a break and do the objective.
I thought I was, but I thought I'd have to ask, you know. Anybody else? Yelena, no?
No intel to spend.
Well, that would be it. Dylan?
Nah, I keep my intel. I've just got the one, and it's so useful. So
it really is. And I'm imagining Mia is going to say no, because otherwise Puckett would have taken me up on the opportunity when I asked him just then. Yeah, I'll take silence as a yes. Okay, should we take a break up until 10:02? And I'll see you all back there and we'll do the operation.
Works for me. See you then.
I've added a possible Miss Maycheck and a Mr. Weiss to the very bottom of the other details. They look desperate enough to take a ticket across Europe, no questions asked.
Yeah. I am actually, for simplicity's sake, going to call them the Masex. Because
Also, I'm back.
Oh, hey, Puckett. I do appreciate, by the way, the head up thing. I forgot to hit pause on the recording, so after hitting stop on the recording, now we have the break. Wonderful. Going well this time. This is why I don't bother with it normally. Anyways, or I'll let Rich do it all. But yes, and what you might deduce from this is that the conspiracy knows that like a couple or familial relationship, if they do run into any trouble, it will give them much more pretext to forcibly reunite them, no matter what bureaucracy is in place, because marriage is sacred, right? So the operation, no one has taken a prep scene, so we will have to frame all of your entries on to this train. Now, what I'd like to ask is, Puckett, where currently is this train passing through, do you think? Like what do we see out of the windows as once the train sets off? You know what I mean? Like we're talking mountains or valleys or industrial or wherever, like.
We're still in China.
Anywhere between Europe and China, you've intercepted it at. So long way to go.
Gotcha.
It's like the shitty Orient Express, basically.
Are we by any chance passing through Siberia, perhaps?
There we go. We're in Siberia.
So there's a whole lot of nothing to see. Just snow. A lot of snow.
Just the steppes.
Yeah. As Sabine suggested, Mongolia.
Is that Siberia? I'm not sure where Mongolia and Siberia count in terms of historical things, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, Mongolia is high altitude steppes, isn't it? Siberia is frozen tundra.
Yeah. But they're in close vicinity. Siberia is north, I think, of Mongolia.
I mean, clearly
Siberia is really big,
Yeah.
So it's probably better for it to be in Mongolia just to avoid there's probably fewer laws to be violating in Mongolia.
I mean, so long as you're, we're legally obliged to wrestle people on the street, that's fine.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd be happier with Mongolia at the minute than anywhere in Russia.
Yeah, me too, frankly.
Same. Yeah. That's a good.
Yeah. And if we're arresting people on the street, I'm calling dibs on Constantine.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mongolia is a good place.
Nice. Okay. Mongolia. So we know what the scenes are coming through. So, Yelena, how are you getting on board? What's your entry point?
I mean, despite the fact that this is a conspiracy train, there have to be paying customers, right?
Oh yeah, there are paying customers. Yeah, it's a night train, I think. Like evening dusk train, of course, because it seems to only travel at night. It's weird, but I guess you get the cheaper seats that way.
Yeah. So I'll be, I'll be living my best Russian student slovenly self, backpacking, or I'm just gonna get off at Ulaanbaatar and meet some old college friend, or some last year college friend.
Cool. I don't believe that in this sense there needs to be a dice roll for getting on the train. But what I would like you to tell me is, what load are you bringing on?
Well, I'm a traveler, so I mean, can I have a rucksack, which is essentially medium?
Yeah.
But I might have to leave behind and walk the corridors as light.
Yeah, no, medium's fine to have on in initial positioning, definitely. Okay. So you have medium load, and you've just got on as a passenger, you know, you are not in the carriage that the Masex are in. They weren't available to book seats in there. It's weird. But yeah, even though no one seems, you pass through it and no one seems to be in there apart from 2 people. But yeah, they were booked by everybody. They were block booked. Strange.
And
Okay.
if someone sits down, they are, you know, very promptly asked for their reserve ticket, right?
May I see your ticket, please? Yeah. Says a man, an American man doing a very heavy Russian accent. Okay. Dylan, how about you?
I think I'll go on the train disguised as this employee, wagon master, and I will have a heavy loadout because I need another identity to carry with me that I can then switch over and be a sort of passenger or doctor or reporter. A reporter, I think, is what I will have as my disguise with me.
Okay, well, you got the train operator for free for having the disguise expertise. You will need to declare the disguise kit for your second one, as I think you already alluded to. And then it is as you get on board and you walk through, you know, you open the doors, you're heading towards your seat so that the conductor doesn't give you shit when the train sets off from the station. And we have that moment where you press the button on the doors and shh, and Mr. Longshore steps out of the toilet and the corridor, and he stops and he stares at you.
Am I in my wagon master disguise here or in my reporter disguise? That's the question.
Which one would it be?
I think for a start, I'll be in the wagon master disguise. That is the one with the big mustache. Anyway. Okay. So
this is going to add another layer of disguise roles as he goes like, wait, weren't you the wagon master? It's the inception of disguises. I've
got a very common face.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm wearing, of course, this kind of train person cap, and
hey, don't I know you?
And I will tell him what language ever. I will tell him that I don't think so.
Well, roll me maintain your cover.
Yeah.
And you can add expertise, of course, because you are an expert in this.
Yeah. I don't want to lose control connection to game server. Refresh page. Damn it.
Oh, and just to talk it through, I have already marked the complications. Don't I know you? Because we know that there is Mr. Longshore on board, and fucking civilians, because you know, the Masex are not you know, assets or operatives. They are innocents, bystanders to an extent in this situation.
I got a 5.
You got a 5, nice. So there is no complication whatsoever.
I'll tell him that I need to watch for the braking fluid. It's kind of iffy, if you know what I mean. They never give me enough braking fluid. I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk to the customers, but this is just bullshit.
No, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I'm a professional myself. You got to make sure that all the ends are met, all the things are checked, and the big wigs, they ain't going to pay you for that. So you make sure that that's cut. I'll keep an eye out. All right.
Yeah, well, you can maybe write a letter to the company that I don't get enough fluid.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
If you have a big wig in your back car. Look, I gotta go, sir.
Joseph, right? Joseph, I'll put in a good word. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's appreciated.
You take it easy, Joseph.
You take it easy, sir. If this goes off the rails, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. None of this is my fault.
Cool. If it goes off the rails, we're gonna have big things to. Anyway, you enjoy.
Yeah, I'll enjoy that.
And as Dylan walks past, you see Longshore goes, just don't I know that guy? Over his shoulder. But you're on. And you said medium load as well, right? I think for your bag. Or light loaded. You're
I
muted.
think I'm muted. Yes, I know. I think hey, I'm a handyman. Of course, I'm heavy loaded because have you ever seen a handyman with a light load? That wouldn't make sense. I mean, most of that is just stuff to sell in disguise. So,
okay.
Right now, I will get rid of most of that anyway. So
if it's just stuff to sell this, guys, let's call it medium loaded for the most part.
Yeah.
Because heavy loaded implies that you may have some disguise stuff in there, but it's actually including a lot of gear that they could find on you, kind of stuff. So medium it is. Mia, how about Mia?
I am dressed up in a very frumpy looking outfit. I mean, I haven't combed my hair. I look a mess, and I'm struggling. I'm making it look like I'm struggling with my heavy load. You know, got a big old suitcase, like a wheel round suitcase that I'm dragging around with me, backpack.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, I'm kind of making a show of it, probably more of a show than it should be.
This big burly American dude wearing a watchtower insignia on his polo shirt steps off the thing. You see a little lump underneath his jacket, and he comes over and he goes like, "Oh, hey there, let me get that for you."
Thank you so much. It's
wow, this is heavy.
I just had this meeting. I was
What load are you taking, Bucket?
heavy.
Heavy. Wow, this is real heavy. This is and he hefts it up, and he's like, "Yeah, let me so what carriage you in, huh? Come on, I'll walk it for you."
I start fumbling through like documents and like my passport, and of course my passport is Canadian.
I don't need to see any of that. It's fine.
I'm looking for my ticket. I don't even know what and I find the ticket and I kind of squint at it, and it's like, do you know which car? And I'll hold it up and show it to him. It's like, do you know which car this is? Which I supposed to have a sleeper compartment.
Oh, I know where that is. No problem. I'll take you there. And we'll get your stuff. And you can see him squeezing out because you realize that maybe the security operatives on this train also take every opportunity to do spot checks of things that are there, not just to flirt with the young women carrying heavy stuff, but also to see what they might be carrying. So how do you brazen this out? How do you maintain your cover taking your heavy load onto this train past the security guard?
I'm Sparks, baby. All this stuff looks normal. So I need to roll for this, correct?
You do, yes. Yeah, and you can use your technical expertise to have it like a rigid compartment so we can't feel the gun poking out through the the canvas or whatever.
Hang on a second. I need to load the page. All righty, dice. I'll definitely be including stress here. Stress is tied. They're both at 5. So,
Alan, can you tell me whether or not that makes this stress increase?
I have to roll for it, don't I?
Yes, it does. Yeah. No, you only roll when for stress when you hit a 6.
Gotcha. Okay.
Otherwise, it goes up because you've used your stress die.
Okay. So stress goes up by 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I continue with the charade is how I brazen it out. I just look disorganized, and it's like I just came from this meeting.
Well, I mean, you're a technical expert. You've solved this with technicality. I think maybe even like when you pull out your tickets and your things like that, you unzip a bit, and it looks like it's all normal. Like they can't see any of the stuff that you've cleverly hidden away through little fake compartments and things like that, right? There's no way anything could be in here beyond the bundle of clothes and the papers and the things like that. And he just goes, boy, I mean, you want to get yourself a new backpack. I mean, this is so heavy and it doesn't carry all that much.
I know. I swear the next thing I do when I get back to Europe, I'm going to order a full Toomey compliment here. I need it. It's time. I don't care if it's going to cost a few $1,000s. It's time.
Well, tips his little cap at you. Maybe I'll
Thank
see
you
you
so much
around.
for
You
your
know?
help. What's your name?
Oh, my name? My name's Dave.
Dave. Maybe I can buy you a drink later in the dining compartment or the bar, or did they have separate compartments for that here?
Oh, I'd like that. I'll see you later. What
Thank
was
you,
yours?
Dave.
Your
Oh. Carol. I completely forgot my manners. I'm so sorry.
Carol. You know, that was my mother's name. I'll see you later, Carol.
I'll just kind of grin to myself and say to my breath, dude, nobody you're flirting with wants to hear that your mother's name is their name. Literally nobody wants to hear that. It's bad flirting, dude.
Yes. He's just such a good old boy, you know. Anyways, on the train begins to pick up speed. You know, the door shows, with the camera shows Mr. Longshore seriously talking with another HGD shipping employee in front of a secure carriage, you know, and it's right, I think right at the back of the train, you know, like at the very end carriage, so that you can walk all the way through. And you've got several lines of passenger carriages and sleeper berths. The Maychecks are in like a, you know, a seating area rather than a sleeper berth, it said, per se. Always with at least with a conductor strangely in there. And, you know, you see them close it up, swipe a card, and you see Mr. Longshore say, now let's hope this doesn't open for your sake and mine. It was supposed to be shit flirting, by the way, Bucket. Okay, so Konstantin,
I just buy a ticket.
just buy a ticket.
Yeah, I'm lightly loaded. I'm a traveling academic. I'm not pretending to be anything.
You're not pretending to be anything. You're a traveling academic. It feels as though that's just on board. Yeah, you just board the train, and you sit down. Are you any of you booked into the same area? Do you think?
I think it's probably cooler if we're all in different compartments, but that's just me.
Okay. And Konstantin gets on board, and the train sets off. I imagine kind of Konstantin actually got on the next stop along, right? Like as it's going through this urban area, it's picked up each of you like in turn, going through out into the steps as it departs. And it's about an hour into the journey. You know, like things have settled down, far enough away from anything to be, you know, have your opportunity here. Mia, what's step one?
Step one. So we know where they are. We already know that.
Yeah. Let's
and
call it carriage B. Yeah.
Carriage B.
Carriage B.
We know that carriage B was reserved in its entirety, correct?
Yeah. Seems as though none of those other passengers got on.
Okay. You know, I'm going to, in the name of stretching my legs, getting used to train movement, etc., walk the train to figure out where everything is, like the compartment, like, you know, where the restaurant is, where the bar is, where the sleepers are, where the observation car is, and especially that locked up car at the end.
The locked up car at the end, there's a couple of guys stood outside of it. Sorry, miss, can't go through.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out. Do you ride on trains often? I'm just trying to make
too often.
Yeah. So you know how it is when you don't ride on them much, and the kind of rocking back and forth and the movement, and it feels weird under your feet and everything. I'm just trying to get used to it. That's all.
Okay, well, my advice is you go back up that way.
And do what? You said your advice is go back that way. And do what? You said you ride on them all the time. Are you trying to give me some advice about how to get used to it?
Move along, please, miss.
You don't have to be so rude about it. Fine.
Have a nice journey.
And I'll wander along back up the train.
Passing by Yelena?
Yeah, I think what I want to do is mark all of our watchtower officers, or whatever we call them nowadays, mercenaries, ne'er-do-wells. Yeah, just put my eyes on them, and I think it'll probably have taken place, probably in the previous hour, right? So a couple of trips, one back to my bag at the end of carriage to get something, some crappy paperback I'm reading, and then like the other way back to get to the toilet, and then pick up a snack at the snack carriage, all that kind of stuff.
I think this is a tradecraft roll.
Okay. So I'll just roll that. And my normal die, no stress. Thank you very much. Wow, my rolling continues unabated. My highest roll today is still a 3. So
nice. So what did you get?
A 3.
A 3. Wow. Okay. And I think this would be. I think it's still an investigate, isn't it, really? Because it's asking a question about who are the guards on here. It's not do something else. So you get the minimum amount of information you need to proceed, which is that there are the 2 guards, the far carriage that I think Mia tips you off about as she walks past, maybe like hand signal of like 2, and you can see Mr. Longshore, who is sat snoozing in a seat in the Matrix carriage. And then there are also the guy from the south who's getting a coffee, waiting, looking around, hopefully for Mia at some point. But you notice that there are 2 more guests, passengers on this train who appear to be keeping, like as the Longshore's men go through, they sort of surreptitiously make eye contact. And so there are 2 plainclothes members of the Watchtower consultancy on board as well. So you are looking at a total of 5 enemy operators on board here. 6, I suppose, including Mr. Longshore himself.
Including Longshore, yeah. So with a 3, I guess, maybe one of those notices me, walk past them twice, right? Even though it's completely normal, they just give me a look and then give me another look, right?
I think it's Longshore, as you go up past, raises his cap slightly, then opens one eye and just tracks you as you go out the back of the carriage, Yeah.
I mean, he's paranoid, I guess, for good reason.
Which puts us on to capture. And then Dylan, how about you?
I need an opportunity here. I need to talk to the Masex. I need to make contact with them to prepare them for what's coming. I think.
Wait, I mean, one of them to go to the toilet?
Classy. No, I think they are probably watching. Oh, they will have a camera in there, right? Mia, can you kill the camera that's in there?
Yeah, I mean, like most trains, there is a CCTV camera on every carriage, you know.
Yeah, but these are yeah, sure, but I've got a Mia.
Oh yeah, no. That's what I'm just. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying like yeah.
Yeah. So I need for Mia to maybe loop the camera, not kill it, loop it, so that they will think everything's normal. I have to talk to these people. I have to warn them, give them a dramatic warning. But just to do that, I can't have the watchtower, high tower, whatever tower guys watching me do that. And I need to switch disguises here. I will go to a light load because I'm pretending to be a journalist. Journalists could swing a heavy camera back, but no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I'll go to a light load. That's fine. I'm just a regular looking, a bit Harold household looking guy with a hat, of course.
Yeah. What I will say is that you know, where you go to change, you can stash your the remaining stuff, and therefore if you decide you want to declare something that's only medium load, all you'll have to do is make it back to that point and grab it, or it is there for somebody else to grab as well to move themselves up to medium load. But you know, that place that you get changed is probably you know, a toilet somewhere, right? And the place that you stash it is probably going to be like a luggage rack or something.
No, it's a staff car, of course.
Oh, the
it's
staff car.
Staff compartment. I put my stuff there. In a staff compartment, you don't go through other people's bags looking for their tools. That's just bullshit. No. I'll just leave it there.
What is it that you say as you leave the staff compartment and the conductor's coming back in? As you're no longer as a driver.
Yes, I know. I say, this is not the dining car. And I'm saying it in an American accent.
Okay. Can I have another roll for maintain your cover, please?
Sure thing. I will do it with expertise. And it's another 5.
Longshore's in the compartment with the Matrixes, aren't they?
Currently, yes.
If Mia is going to try and stop any CCTV, I'd like to run interference on Longshore, so Dylan can do the brush pass with these innocents.
Yes, and the conductor simply, you know, smiles and bids you to go down and says, "Oh, I understand. It can be, you know, there's only one way, only 2 ways to go on a train, but somehow we all manage to get lost. It even happens to me. Don't worry about it."
Rules all look the same. Sorry.
And so we'll cut over to Mia. You know, having got the message from Dylan on the comms as he was getting changed. What, you know, are you going to take over the systems on the train?
I mean, I might as well. And I'm still trying to like find Dave because that might be a useful in.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
Hey,
let's go ahead.
If you want to frame this as Mia sat in the bar / coffee pot, you know, it's not like a particularly great thing. It's got a few beers in a fridge and some spirits and like sandwiches maybe, but like a sitting area. Well, no, but yeah, that's the point. Just imagining you as, I'm just going to take this on your phone, taking it over while he's just like, so tell me all about yourself. Oh, wow. But yeah, if you want to do it,
all right,
go for it.
We can do it that way. I mean,
I wasn't going to make you roll a maintain cover. Basically, I was going to let you just do it.
All right, so that is 6 on expertise.
Ah, nice. So you've got control of the CCTV camera. You mark intel. What's the additional benefit that you gain?
I have controls over which cars. God, what do you call it? The juncture.
The door controls.
Join up.
Yeah,
no, not the door controls.
The coupling.
Yes, I have. Weirdly enough, I don't understand why this is, but I've got control of the couplings as well. Or is that too much?
I think that's too much, the couplings.
Okay. So I couldn't, for example, get control of the coupling on the last car.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, couplings on the doors will suffice. All right. Control of the security doors will suffice. So I can lock them at will.
Yes, the doors already have a computerized system to begin with, right? So it's fine. But the coupling, I think, is a very physical process for safety reasons more than anything else.
Okay, fair. And then I'll just.
Also, what's the fun in having you just detach the carriage with the coffin on the back? Like, yeah.
I mean,
I'll vote for that brand of fun.
Look, it was going to save me a little bit of work in having to deconstruct my luggage, but you know. But anyway, so I'll send Dylan a quick text saying done, and then resume talking to Dave.
Cool. Camera, cuts from the CCTV feed that quickly flashed up on Mia's phone before she smiled, hit the lock button, and put it back in her pocket. And that camera shows Constantine getting up from his seat, I presume. And how are you going to run interference with Mr. Longshore and open the way for Dylan?
I'm going to sit down opposite him and ask him if it's okay if I ask him some questions for my questionnaire. I'm doing some market research for the train company, and so random sample of people. I'd like to just run down this if that's okay.
Yeah, this is like a 6-hour journey. Yeah, go for it. Fire away.
Thank you.
And I think this is sufficiently corporate that you could roll your corporate expertise if you wish to sandbag him with corporate details.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
Yeah.
I don't think I dare risk stress at this point. I'm halfway up the I need a couple in reserve, so I'll just roll without stress.
Okay.
With the expertise dice to maintain my cover.
I think it's almost to do something else, because it's to distract him more than anything else. Because maintain your cover would be you're not suspicious, but I don't think you're suspicious at all at the moment, frankly.
No, I'm genuinely doing what I do, kind of thing. Yeah. That's a 5.
That's a 5. And I'm doing something else. I believe that is just a straight flat success. No obvious. You have kept him busy, and you know what? As you talk about it and all the things, you show it, and he's like, interesting. So how do you do this? What's the match? I really like the heuristics you got set up with the matrix, the different responses and everything. Like, this is some real good work. I'm always looking for people to do, to build my business. He gets really into the sort of networking, LinkedIn sort of shit. He exchanges cards with you, that kind of thing.
Oh, if only I'd thought to bring a card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm too far down the tree to have a card. I tear a bit off the top of a copy of the questionnaire, and it's the company kind of, the train company's headquarters.
Yeah. But oh yes, who got the 6? Yes. So Mia, you do get intel, and you roll for stress. As I think through the CCTV, you see that back room. You glance at your phone as Dylan enters the the cabin, and you see Longshore talking, and Dave has just gone to go get you more drinks. And you glance at that phone to get a quick update. Then you're flicking quickly through the CCTV cameras, and you see that one at the very back. And the lights flicker off. Roll for stress.
Already did. It's a 2. My stress is currently at 3.
Oh, it's fine, because the lights flick back on again. Of course, the CCTV camera is at a position that you can't see the 2 guys stood either side of the door.
But is this CCTV camera inside the rear car?
No, it is just facing the entrance to the rear car. You are basically watching it. The only thing you can see of it is from the train, the company's carriage one up. HGD does not have a CCTV camera available to the train systems, linked to the train systems, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll just relay that information, that there's a secured car at the back of the train. There's 2 people standing guard over it. We should probably figure that it's a big bad. So, be careful.
Yelena, before I cut to Dylan's thing, is there anything you'd like to do? I figure you're kind of you've cased everybody.
Yeah, I guess I'm happy to wait for someone to ask me to dance, I think.
Yeah. We can have you fictionally positioned next to somebody nearby this carriage, in case it kicks off, kind of.
Well, I mean, actually, with a little bit of warning from, maybe I'm switching seats to like look back towards the rear of the train where the light flashed off and on, just to be completely paranoid.
Nice. So you are down near the back of the train,
or at least like pointing whichever carriage I was in. I'm just looking backwards now.
I'm really curious whether Yelena is in a carriage between the freight car and the rest of us.
Because that's where you put me, right?
I'm just curious.
Yeah, because the other thing is, those two guys are back there and seem to be probably the most ready for bear amongst their numbers. So
yeah, definitely. And I think that those undercover guys are either side of the matrix carriage, because the good thing about a train is you don't need to keep eyes on them. You just need to keep eyes on either end of the train, and they're not going to get back. There's only one way in and one way off, really, isn't there? So yeah.
That's what those Marines thought in Aliens too, right?
Yes, yeah. Dylan, then.
Yeah, I will as soon as the Longshore. Oh, sorry.
That's my problem.
Longshore is occupied with the corporate strategies of Constantine. I will slip into the carriage, and I will project a nervous front, right? Like I'm really anxious, and I will sit down and say, "Listen, you're in danger. Give me a moment to explain." Yeah.
We don't want any trouble.
Yes, you have it. I am Florian Novak of the blah blah Polish Warsaw announcer or whatever, and I have a card, of course, and a press pass to prove that. That's my disguise. And the people who are watching over you, they have been on this train with other people. They have been watching over, and all these people, they go to the same place, and they never come back. They never come back. And I thought I'd go and see what's going on, but I saw the two of you, and I thought, no, Florian, you can't do this. You can't just let these people go there and vanish forever.
What do you mean? They promised us.
Yes, I know they promised you probably the world, but you will not come back from this. It's easy to promise somebody you plan not to be alive to gather the reward.
Roll persuade.
Yes, I will do that. I think that is that I will use stress in this one because it seems important. Come on. Yeah, wow, I've got 2 6s and none of them is on the stress side.
2 6s. Nice. So mark intel. And you persuade them, and she turns to him and she says, but they said that they would just, we would go there and they would do the blood work, and then they would pay us and we would have enough money. And he says, but if they could just kill us. She's right. He's right. They could just kill us. Tell me, how do we have enough money? They have paid us enough money. We can make it.
Wait, we need to get you out of this train. I have met some other people. I think they're from an NGO. We need to get you off this train. They're working on an egress point for us, for all of us. My friend there, he was talking to your minder. He's talking to your minder. You can trust him.
That's how much. He's watching us?
Of course he's watching you.
I told you. They start bickering slightly among themselves about how like he's denied the connection and nothing was wrong with this shipping container being on board every time. Okay. So they're persuaded.
Okay.
Longshore is distracted. I don't think Longshore is distracted enough to let them get off without him noticing that they've left, at least, you know?
Yes. I will tell them that to go to the dining car.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of traffic there, and the situation is a lot more chaotic in a dining car. And they can't hover over them all the time. I think it offers us more opportunity.
Well, you get an extra benefit on your 6, actually, don't you, for the persuade? Yeah. So I think, would you like to say that the extra benefit is that they are able to get away discreetly to the dining car before anyone really clocks them? Yeah. Perhaps with like, you know, you give them your coat or something, you know, like a kind of very quick sort of distraction technique.
Yeah, I mean, like I can run a bit of interference for them with the nearest person, and then they can change maybe their jackets and their coats, and the woman can push up her hair or something, and I will land the guy in my head, and so they won't be immediately recognizable.
And you go past that undercover guy and get his attention just at the right moment for them to quickly step through the doors and across. Yeah, perfect. So they are on their way when, you know, Longshore's really networking with Konstantin. And they're completely gone when he looks up and goes, yeah, okay. Good luck, kid. I gotta go. You know, so roll for stress, please, Dylan.
Yes.
As point. You pass one of the undercover guys, and you're about to try and get his attention when you see him wince, and you hear a noise of feedback from his ear, and he pulls it out. You see him like look at it, and he's like sort of caught off guard with you coming past, and he's like, something's clearly wrong.
I smile at him and say, well, yeah, the reception here is really terrible, isn't it? I'm not stressed at all. I rolled 1.
Nice. Mia, what are you talking about with Dave?
Oh, I'm talking to him about greenscaping and putting terraces of plants on buildings to help them grow. So you have like short terraces up top, and then like the terraces get wider as you go down, so depending on the side of the building and depending on how much sunlight it gets and how you calculate the sunlight and how you calculate how many hours it gets and whether it can grow efficiently. And really there's crops that grow better than others. This can be a source of urban food and reducing grocery deserts, but it can also be a way to basically put plants back in the environment that will help pull out carbon dioxide, which is something that China desperately needs.
And Dave's eyes are glazing over as it goes on. And then the train lurches. You all feel acceleration. And Dave, hey, is this going faster? You feel that, right?
I don't know. I'm kind of new to trains. I don't travel on them much.
And he hello? Just wait here. And Dave turns and starts walking towards the driver's carriage.
Why are you talking to your coat?
I work for the security company, don't you?
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel safer. And I'll just flash him a smile.
And he goes, up to the so we got the restaurant car and then the driver's car right after the restaurant car. Just to fiddle slight with my very loose geography of the train, put it on the other end.
Don't tell me you've changed it. I've been keeping track on the operation too of where everyone is.
You just have to move the restaurant car in front of number 8, because I was like, oh, we should have things interesting at the other end of the train as well,
We
right?
should.
And you know, you get a Benny for doing that, Alan. That's great bookkeeping. So and he bangs on the door and it swings open and howling wind comes through the carriage, and you see a shattered window and in a blood-stained carriage in front, and Dave swears and runs into the driver's seat.
I see this as well.
Yes, you do. Yeah, the door swings open. You know, if you were keeping an eye out, you'd see him walk in, and it looks as though something smashed into the driver's seat and just killed, well, taken the drivers.
I will scream at that.
Nice.
And just like, ah!
Longshore.
And rush toward Dave.
Longshore, you see him like steady, and he starts pacing it down the corridor after Dylan and the others, the Maychecks, not knowing that they're that way, but just heading in that direction, quickly towards the back of the carriage. And yeah, what's Constantine do as he sees Mr. Longshore head off that way? He feels a train carriage rock and he hears a scream come from behind him.
I think that Dylan and the Maychecks have gone towards the front of the train where the restaurant car is.
Oh crap, the linen and the things were going towards the restaurant car, weren't they? Not Yelena.
They were.
Ah, damn, I've tripped myself up there with the thing. Yeah, you know, and you know, there's a staff compartment, there's a restaurant thing. Dylan and the Maychecks
I can move the restaurant car back to where it was. It's
no. Let's keep the restaurant car there. And let's have you know, they're all heading towards the restaurant car. Yelena is in between the thing and the thing.
So at this point we have the Maychecks and Dylan moving through compartment A, followed by Longshore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Constantine is going to try to bother Longshore. No, excuse me. There's section 3.
Yeah, and that's where we'll cut across to Yelena. As Yelena, you see, you're at the back. You hear the crackle of the radios. You hear the scream. You feel the engine picking up. You see the undercover guy, one of the undercover guys comes running back up through the thing into your carriage, shouts, steps into that room, and then turns around and pulls a gun out of his vest and starts walking back up towards the front of the train.
Okay, so the two contractors at the rear are not doing anything?
You just, as the door opens, you just see a foot on the ground.
Okay, they're not doing anything. So I will let him pass me,
mm-hmm.
and then I will get up, casual, but not too casual. And I will ask Mia to temporarily close the door between carriage G and F.
I'm happy to say that Mia is occupied, but you have all got access to the system through your phones, you know?
Okay.
Sophisticated cyber magic.
Okay, so basically I think it like closes in his face, and then the annoying kind of sensor way, he maybe steps back and does the wave for it to open. And by the time he does that, I'm behind him and with a pistol in the small of his back.
And what's your intent here? Because he's going to try and kill you now. Yeah,
I mean, the first thing I'm doing is putting one bullet through his kidney.
Uh-huh. Well, why don't
we? We'll see how he feels after that.
Why don't we roll to confront?
Okay, let me mark handgun.
But he is a paramilitary, is that right, Alan? So he's like he's an operator type level.
He's a contractor.
He's a contractor.
Yeah, so he's a special ops contractor. So he
would have expertise. He would cancel out your small arms, but you would have your deadly still.
Yeah. I'm surprising him presumably, but maybe he's frosty, right? I don't...
You are surprising him, so there's no risk this one, yeah.
So what the hell? I'll roll my stress die. Yeah, because my luck is shocking. So I'll just roll 3 dice. Normal, deadly, stress, and see. And I'm not running any risk, right?
No, I don't believe so. You know what? Actually, throw one in there. Throw a risk in there. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, who knows? Okay. So my highest die is my stress die, and I got a 4 on risk.
A 4 on risk. So your risk has to be the highest die, I think, right, for it to have any effect whatsoever.
Equal to or higher than.
Yes.
Same as stress. So stress will go up. You'll get a result, but you're at risk of a significant harmful consequence.
Yes. So on a 4, you deal stress to them, but then you must roll on the risk die. They are nameless pawns, but
they're named contractors, I thought.
They're named contractors, but isn't this so? This modify the highest roll. So just roll 1d6 for now. Add your stress die if you're willing to take that risk. So you roll 2 dice if you want to roll a stress die. The options, Alan, are nameless pawns +3, leader of a group of nameless pawns +2.
Contractors add or subtract nothing.
Oh, okay, I see that flat rolls. That makes sense. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just roll 1 die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a 3.
That is a 3, which means that the consequences are serious. As you fire that bullet into him, right? That first one, and it should have taken him out entirely, but he just seems to roll with it entirely. He just and he swings faster than you can imagine, and cracks you across the face with his hand, sending you flying back. And you see his eyes as his glasses fall away. You see that he's got red tinted eyes, and a vial drops out of his coat pocket as he has taken the Seward Serum. Okay. And I will spend 1 heat to turn this to add a extra stress box to a minion of the conspiracy, because he is essentially. So you've dealt 1 stress to him, I believe, Alan, with that roll, and but because he's now had that thing, he's now on 2 total. Is that right? Sorry, just because the running the NPCs has never been anything that I've encountered before, So
every time you succeed at confront, you apply a stress.
Mm-hmm.
So he normally a contractor would have 3, a named port have 3 stress.
Okay.
One of those has just gone.
So they would normally have 3. I thought that would only apply to the leader of the group, not the.
No. Pawns have 1 stress and they're dead. Leaders of nameless pawns usually take 2. Contractors take at least 3.
Contractors take at least 3.
You can spend a point of heat when you want to increase that, to add a 4th one.
I see. I'll tell you what I will use that Seward Serum as is to just up his risk a bit more in the situation, basically, rather than give him an extra stress box, because I don't want you plugging away at him forever. But cool, that's the thing. Sorry to ground down that action scene with mechanics. Just came into a crunchy bit there. But yeah, we have Yelena thrown back against the carriage, side wall, bouncing off it, as he staggers with that blood suddenly catching him, and he looks up and snarls with that Seward Serum, keep giving him the strength to carry on. We cut over to.
Sorry, can I ask a quick question? Does that mean that a pistol in the back would never have been enough to take the guy out?
I think so, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, stress is plot armor rather than anything else. So he moved too quickly. You winged him.
Yeah. I mean, kind of I understand that, but like, even if I get a 6, I'm adding like 1. My option is to add 1, right? So
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. There's no critical hit.
Yeah.
But you do need to deal with that that 3 on the harmful consequences.
Oh yes. So if you'd like to roll as to see what the effects of this punch is, what did you roll with those dice? So you want to include your stress dice, Donna? Oh, you rolled a.
Yeah, I rolled for that already. That's how.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
So you need to
the
choose. You need to choose, of course. Yeah. Sorry. You need to choose.
Well, can I do something like tag myself with armor?
Yeah. Entirely. Yeah.
So let me look. Ballistic stab vest, absorb 1. Or I could go ceramic and absorb 2.
That's 2 uses. So the stab vest will mean you cancel any harmful consequence once.
Yeah.
Then it's used up. The other one, you have 2 bites at the cherry.
Yeah. Let me go with ceramic vest, right? Under my unruly student clothes is obviously bulky, but ceramic vest is responsible.
Yeah, when he punches you square in the chest, and it cracks off that ceramic plate, and you can feel it splinter as you go back. Right. Okay, and we cut over to Longshore. Just ignores Constantine and pushes past him and goes straight through, picking up. Dave turns around.
I wrestle him.
Okay, confront the because he is going to just beat the hell out of you if you don't let go of him.
Yeah, no, I need to buy Dylan time. I don't know that the trains run away and hell's breaking loose 2 carriages up. I will include my stress dice in this confront because I have no expertise. Oh no, we all have
hand-to-hand expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from he does cancel you out though.
Oh, he will. Yeah, that's true. I better go stress dice then. That's a 5 on the stress dice, so stress goes up by 1. Oh, dearie me. Oh, sorry, I should have put at least 1, if not 2, risk die in there. I'll roll them now.
2, I think. Yeah.
That's a 6 on one of the risk die.
Oh. Okay then. So roll for consequences.
I'll re-roll that number 6. Oh, that's a 4. You were lucky this. Oh no, yeah, no, he's a contractor.
He's a contractor. Fine. Yeah.
Lucky this time. It hurts, but you'll live.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, you can imagine how Longshore he basically like gives you a few good solid smacks to the face for your troubles.
But just to be clear, I should have declared what my intention was. Success would look like delay.
Oh yeah, no, entirely. Yeah, he is entangled with you completely.
Really, section B.
But I will still mark a stress for that, I think, in terms of that. Yeah, just because it's fictional positioning, right? He's stressed out by this. Longshore is dealt with. The other undercover guy has already started run through into the thing, and he's after. Well, no, the other undercover guy is now. Let's have him delayed as well by that roll, Alan. You know, the undercover guy was moving up through the corridor after Dylan, after that crackle on his thing. But then he hears Longshore fighting with you, and he turns around. Dylan, you walk into the restaurant carriage with the Maychecks looking, over their shoulders nervously, and that's when you come in, and Mia is screaming as Dave, the guard, is like, "Holy shit! Does anyone know how to drive a train?"
I will pull the emergency brakes now. I think this warrants that, because we need more way to move. I don't know how to drive a train, but I know how to pull the emergency brakes. That's not that hard.
Okay.
I will do that. I will inform Dave. I don't, but I can do this.
Everybody slams to a halt. Everything crashes.
I will say I can pull the emergency brakes so that everybody on my team hears it and can maybe prepare at least a little. Okay?
Yeah. Hold on. Kind of thing, right? Like, and everybody being cool enough to prepare. Yeah, just as that guy's about to leap across the carriage at Yelena, you slam on the brakes and you get smacked by a suitcase that just comes flying out of the side thing, bouncing him off the side. Dramatic, great screeching, chaos over everything, right? That's when you hear, as it all like deadens down into silence, you just hear like groans, and Longshore like rolls himself up off Constantine, like, what the fuck? Dylan and Mia, you hear on the outside of the train, like
feet on it above us, or
something scrabbling.
Oh god damn it.
And of course, the last complication is obviously, do you feel that there's a big bad, there's a supernatural on the scene? Super bad. There's a supernatural threat at the site level, the level above what the briefing suggested. And the Maycheks, panic-stricken. Yelena, let's cut back to you in this guard.
I mean, I think when we get the signal from Dylan to that we're breaking, I'm not going to try to restrain myself. I'm just aiming my shoulder at him, whether it be like his throat or his solar plexus or anything. I'm just turning myself into a missile.
Yeah.
To try to take him out.
Okay. So, I mean, that's hand to hand. He cancels out your expertise. You still get to add deadly, I think, because you are a deadly weapon, just anyways, right?
Yeah.
The one thing you never tell people that you could kill them with is your hands. Like, you always keep that in reserve. And you will roll 3 risk die for him, I think, because he's 2 risk die for being a contractor and armed, and 1 risk die for having the Seward Serum, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take stress.
Not going well for.
No.
Oh.
3's all night, I think.
Yeah.
And it counts as stress too, because it's my heist.
Okay, so mark stress. On a 3.
How about
succeed at a cost.
How about I'm gonna mark my assassin tick box?
Oh yes, yeah.
Although no, that counts. That takes stress to do, so it's pointless.
But it would turn this into a success.
Yes, it would turn.
Well, it would also turn Yelena into an NPC.
No, because you won't mark the stress for rolling this if you do the success, I think.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because it doesn't change my die result, it just changes my.
I think it completely wipes out what the die result would be, basically. I'd say.
Be a fan of the players.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
You wrote the rules, Alan, so I'm willing to take you're breaking them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me mark that. And
cool. Which boosts it to, because it boosts it to a 4, which means that you mark an additional stress on him. And I will say that is enough to have incapacitated him. He's not out, but he's incapacitated because you just use that full momentum of the train to just take him out. But it is a solid hit. So because you rolled I think we'll have rolled a 5 on the risk die, even if we push that up to a 4 on that. So with that in mind, please can you roll me the consequence die? And you can add your stress to that if you wish.
Not so much. I mean, if the stress die does anything for me, it's pushing me to 6, right?
Mm.
I mean, not necessarily. If I roll 4, yes. Let me just roll that one back. A 5.
A 5. You were lucky this time. It hurts, but you'll live. And I think he leaps at you and he grabs hold of your neck, and then the train lurches and then you do that whole like using that full force to like flip him and then just drive his face straight into the side of a chair or something, you know, like.
I want you to take him out with a doorknob.
Oh, with a doorknob, yeah, you run his face up against the doorknob of the toilet, right? Like it's sticking out, and you just off it. And then he goes down like a sack of spuds. And you know, we'll call the session there, I think, and come back to the vampiric confrontation as you know, Yelena. Yeah,
and that gives Donna a full week to think about how can you build a sequel from the horror into the next 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I can give out to Dylan, even though he doesn't deserve it. I mean,
there's always flashbacks as well, you know.
I can take it.
Mm-hmm. So just a second. So what we have is the restaurant, cabin, and then A with you put it all on the operation tab, right, Alan?
I've tried to. I think that's where we are.
Yes, that looks about right. Yeah, completely. Yeah. The only one addition is, oh yeah, engine Dave, blah blah blah. Perfect. Yeah, undercover is just now
heading back towards me, I think.
Yes.
There's going to be some liberal strike throughs on these undercover guys.
Yes. Yeah. Soon. Yeah. Well, one undercover is knocked out now, but he's still in play in terms of like.
I mean, I don't want to suggest I'll be putting a bullet in the back of his head as soon as I get to my feet, but you know.
No, you certainly can. But that will be for the next session.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay. Cool. Thank you very much, guys. We'll pick this up next time. I'm going to stop the recording quickly.